Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect, who firmly believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to entitle this lesson. It may just come from Galatians 2 and 4, false brethren at unawares. And, this pretty much gets into the spies, the the Judases of the world and things of that nature, because when you check it out, Yahweh Shai couldn't be Yahweh Shai if there wasn't a Judas, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the balance. That's just the balance of life, you know what I'm saying? And the servant is not greater than the master, you know. The servant is not greater than the master. And as prophets, as men of the Lord, as knowing what we're signing up for and what we're involved in, we got to take our emotions out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because there can and will be, what do you call it? A spy that may be in your camp. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of things. There could potentially be a spy in every camp. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're already in the camp, whether they have yet to come into the camp, who only the Heavenly Father knows, essentially. You know what I'm saying? But through the Spirit, they are, revealed. You know what I'm saying? Through the Spirit, they will be revealed. And like I said, the servant's not greater than the master. So if Yahweh Shai had to endure these things, if Yahweh Shai had to go through these things, we got to know and understand that we're going to have to go through these things as well, right? We're going to have to go through these things as well. And, the scriptures reveal how they maneuver. You just got to read the scriptures, The scriptures showcases how they maneuver. So once you engulfed into the Spirit, once you know the Spirit, you can have a good inkling, or a good enough discernment, to indicate what's what and who's who. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you got to be presumptuous, if you will, for lack of better terms, in the matter and just call a brother out on it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you don't move like that. You got to wait for the Spirit to reveal all things. You know, it's just a matter of moving accordingly, within that space, within that process. So, I'm gonna just, hit a couple of scriptures, Lord willing is edifying. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, Then 14 years after, I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me also. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles. But privately to them which were of reputation, least by any means, I shall run or had run in vain. So, people of reputation in Yahushua taught them privately, just like there may be some famous people today, who learn from Great Millstone, and they might be getting taught by certain brothers privately. They may be having phone conversations, maybe text messages. Who knows, right? The Lord knows. Verse 3, but neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised. This is the point. It says, in that because of false brethren unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahweh Shai and Mashiach, that they might bring us into bondage. And that's just what comes with this truth. Spies, you know, spies coming in, false brethren, trying to look the role, play the role, act the role, you know, to report back to their higher ups, who has hired them. But what they fail to realize is, we up the hope for elect. The only thing that they can use, against, brothers is what? Fear and death. You know what I'm saying? And we of the hope for elect have counted the cost. We know that those particular outcomes can potentially come with this truth. So what? We build our spirit up for it. We prepare our mind and spirit for it. So if and when it do comes, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we're able to overcome it. Not to mention there's countless accounts of our forefathers going through the same fate, so to speak. So they can't use those particular fear tactics against us. They just can't. They use it on the people who are moved and swayed by those particular tactics, fear and death. You know, you got some Jake that may attempt to well, they escape prison sentences